What up, world? How is everybody doing? Welcome to Front Runner Podcast Collective, where we talk like friends, we argue like cousins, and somehow we still leave a little bit smarter. I am your humble host, Vince, and I'm your occasional therapist, your favorite bad influence. And here on FRPC, we unpack the wins, the mess, the middle ground with jokes, receipts, and maybe a hot take that ages badly. Soraya is on the production deal side. She will be handling all of some of the notes that we're going to get. She is silent but deadly. Well, she'll be dropping reminders, occasional gems to keep us very honest and maybe make us better people in the process. What is on deck for today's show? First and foremost, the one thing that we really need to talk about is that we have brought back Baseline Bus, where we talk about some of the news that is going on and around the NBA. In the background, we're going to have to cut that out. But anyway. And then also, we're going to travel to the dirty South. That's right, the Southeast Division, where we also bring back another segment that everybody loves. It's the Full Court Press, where we discuss every team in that division and what's going on with them, and just kind of keep you up to date with what's going on. Before we get started with all that, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. One, we have been telling you lately that our numbers are up as far as our downloads and what have you. If you are a new person to the podcast, welcome. We are so grateful for you to be here. For our day ones, you know the drill. Be a friend, tell a friend. We do not advertise this podcast. And what I mean by that is that we do not pay Google to move us up. We don't do any of that. Any download that we've ever gotten is through the word of mouth and the 5 folks who have found our podcast and enjoyed it and decided to keep it. If you're listening to us on Spotify, if you're listening to us on Apple or iHeartRadio or Amazon Music or however you choose to get us, we are grateful for all of you. But make sure that you're following, those numbers count, and make sure you're downloading. And the next thing with that is interact with us. Send us a rating. Hopefully it's 5 stars. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to achieve. And then leave us something. Say, hey, I enjoyed this segment. Oh, you talked about Orlando, and that was, I'm an Orlando fan, and whatever the case may be. We want to hear from you. We also have other ways for you to get at us, and one of those ways is through email. It's frpcvince@gmail.com. The Twitter still works, or if you live under the Elon Musk rule, X, it is FrontrunnerPC @FrontrunnerPC. Our producer is @Rhea_Funch, which is FUNCH_FRPC. One day we'll have to explain that. The numbers are really humbling. We're gaining people. We're gaining people in areas that I didn't even think were possible. Bolivia. Are you kidding me? Chile. It's ridiculous. Australia. Our numbers are growing there. We even got some folks in New Zealand. What's up? Good day. However you say it. But thank you guys for joining us. We can't do this. We can't build this community without you. So please make sure that you're telling other people who enjoy NBA basketball, who enjoy good conversation about NBA basketball. Let them know that we do this on Tuesday and we do this on Friday. Until I mess up and we don't do it on Tuesday or Friday. But we are trying to make a commitment that we make sure we get these podcasts out on time, on target for you, and we're able to present you with the best analysis that we possibly can give you. We do work hard for this. And without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start with the baseline buzz and the part of the show where the news tries to sprint and we full court trap that bad boy. Injuries, risers, you're not watching enough, and one very important return to San Antonio. Take a breath. We'll give you the receipts, not the rumors. We will start in Dallas. And it's for us who are Laker fans, this is an all too frequent occurrence. As you know, AD is hurt. He entered camp heavier than he normally does. Mobility questions started to rise. Then the left calf strain that happened on October 29th, and now he's been out for a little while. Now, the Dallas Mavericks are struggling. They're 2-6 right now. They're 1-2 without him. They're ramping up, but they're cautiously optimistic. Again, tell me, Laker fans, do you not remember that? This is echoes to the Dallas Maverick fans of last year's calf saga that hung over the building with Luka. Dallas is reliving this nightmare over and over again. It's like Groundhog's Day, but without Bill Murray. Oh, for our young people, if you don't know Groundhog's Day, the movie with Bill Murray, the legend, go ahead, YouTube that bad boy, see what streaming service is on, and go ahead and watch that. Highly recommend. I understand what AD was trying to do. You know, he was trying to bulk up a little bit, but he needs to understand who he is. I think that's been the problem with AD the whole entire time, is that he wants to be a power forward, but you don't shoot the ball well enough to be a power forward unless your center is going to shoot the ball from 3. So instead, unless you play with Jokic, you're going to have to be a 5, my guy, and you're going to have to be in that dunker's position. You're going to have to be at that nail, because you do have really excellent passing skills that we want to go ahead and utilize. With that being said, he has always really kind of pushed back on being the center, and that's unfortunate. And he's just kind of ebbed and flowed into these seasons. And now AD is owed $54.1 million this year, $58.5 next year, and with a player's options in 2027 and 2028, it's $62.8 million. The Dallas Mavericks must value availability, not just resume, before the big paper. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the thing that the Lakers continue to go up against when they had him. It was how long was he going to be available for? And there were questions about toughness. I will never question Anthony Davis' toughness. I don't care whether he's not a Laker or not. I loved Anthony Davis when he was here. I thought he was additive when he played. The problem is again, I just don't think Anthony Davis understood his basketball identity, and I don't ever think he has fully felt comfortable in his form. And I'm not talking about weight and whatever. I'm just talking about his basketball being. I hope my guy finds it. I hope he finds some inner peace and understands who and what he is, which he's a phenomenal defender. You know, he's one of the better rim protectors in our league. And also, he can get you 25, 13, and 6 if you need so. So, what we're hoping for right now is what? Better conditioning. See if my man loses about 10 pounds. He is scheme dependent. He's a two-way anchor. He's a defensive ceiling. But without him, that ceiling collapsed a little bit. Now, Derek Lively also is on the men, so you are down 2 of your bigger rim protectors, and now you're just holding on with Daniel Gafford and Cooper Flagg. And the way they've been using Cooper Flagg, honestly, I haven't been a fan of. I know what Jason Kidd was trying to do with Cooper Flagg. The thing about it is that he's not Giannis. 1, 2, you don't have enough shooting around you that you can depend on for Cooper Flagg to be the on-ball initiator that you want him to be. And I think personally, right now, we need to go ahead and put him in a position where he's getting buckets and really being impactful in that way. So our hope is that the Dallas Mavericks can bounce back. I know there's a lot of people, Jason Gallagher, who is one of the voices down there who has really banged the drum when the Luka trade went down, talking about management and who is ultimately responsible for what happened with Luka and the paltry get back that the Dallas Mavericks received for Luka. All we can hope for now is better days to come and health. So when Dallas is going through it, they're 2-6 and they're just kind of waiting for our guy to come back. Couple of last things that we want to talk about with this situation in Dallas is that, Nico Harrison has a lot to answer for. And I don't know when that's going to happen, when that shoe's going to drop, but I can't see this going on too much longer. And we will obviously keep on monitoring that situation. But for the rest of the Dallas Mavericks fans, I think this is the last year, right? This last year with their pick, Soraya, she enters in the chat. Yes. So Dallas Mavericks, if for some reason this is the season where it does kind of all fall apart, and you're looking at a situation where maybe it's just not your season, they do have pieces, and they have pieces to trade, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to build it around Cooper Flagg, and if you can get in to that high area of the lottery where the lofty names of Darren Peterson, AJ Bonasta, and our guy Cam Boozer, also Nate Ament, people like that, Mikael Brown Jr., those type of guys would be very, very helpful in your cause to create the new iteration of what the Dallas Mavericks are going to end up being. So there was 1 year to kind of tank it, because after this year, from 2027 to 2031, I think Dallas doesn't have any other picks, all somewhere else. It's time to get it going. The next thing we're going to discuss is some of the guys that are under the radar. And I want to kind of just, show them some love. This is not Giannis. This is not your Devin Bookers of the world. These are the guys who are kind of like third, fourth in the rotation, and they're showing some really surprising numbers early on in the season. And so if you got league pass and you find yourself catching a Milwaukee Bucks game, a Oklahoma City Thunder game, a Suns game, or a Grizzlies game, or a Utah Jazz game, I want you to look these guys up and just kind of look and see what they're doing. Without further ado, let's jump into this. We talked about AJ Mitchell in the past. AJ Mitchell is a guard that was picked up a couple years ago by our guy Sam Presti, and he's having a phenomenal start to the year. He's averaging 16.7 points a game through 9. He has had some clutch bursts despite only shooting 28.6% from 3, which is crazy. He has a low turnover rate, and he seems to be able to finish at the rim between 3 to 10 feet with ease. He's got elevation. He's able to kind of hang in the lane and stuff like that. So I love this kid. I love the way he plays. And wow, he's been super additive to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 8-1 at this point in time in the season. And he is going left. He's going to continue to go left. And then when you think you can't stop him from going left, he's going to go left again. It is like NASCAR. But our guy is being productive, and that's all that matters now. Obviously, get a little more tape. You go around the league a couple times, especially in the Western Conference, they might be able to slow that down. But early in the season, the 16.7, think about this. Oklahoma City doesn't have, still at this point in time, Jalen Williams. Any kind of step up from somebody else is super at this point. Welcome, Oklahoma City does it again. Here's a guy, had a little injury. You didn't get to see him really the first year. Comes out of nowhere this year, and we're like, who is this guy? Another guy that we talked about, I think, on the previous pod, I think it was on the last one, actually, was Ryan Rollins. Actually, it was. We talked about on the last pod. He has been scoring. He's also been stealing the ball, and he has provided consistent offense and defense, two-way ability for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's been a good point of attack defender. And the best part about Ryan Rollins is that he has played 2 seasons before. He kind of was going through the G League process or whatever. He's still very, very young, but the confidence leap for him and guys learning his name is odd. But he has been a consistent performer next to Giannis, and they can survive the non-Giannis minutes because of the fact that two things. One, he'll go ahead and he'll get into that lane. He provides purposeful paint touches. You know how much I love those. And he's able to shoot it out, get it out to the shooters. And then the other thing that he's doing is that he doesn't turn the ball over. You got to love a guy who values the basketball, that he is so patient with his game that he's not going to rush into something. And that's usually what you see with young guards, especially in this league. They get sped up too quickly, and then all of a sudden, you don't know what's going on, and the ball is going the other way. Another guy I want to shout out is Collin Gillespie. Now, Collin Gillespie was part of some of the Villanova teams that won championships. He's been injured pretty much the whole time, and now he's getting the time to shine in Phoenix. He's a money shooter. He makes low mistakes. 42 assists to 12 turnovers is ridiculous, homie. You know, he's on a minimal deal, which makes him very valuable. He's shown rotation competence for a team that has absolutely needed it. They needed a guard that could go ahead and be out there and be able to run the offense, get the ball to Devin Booker, get the ball to the other players that they have on their team that are going to provide most of the bulk of the scoring. And I will tell you, with that being said, I'm super excited about what's going on with Collin Gillespie. And it couldn't have happened to a guy who has just worked at his craft for so long and toiled. And again, had a couple injuries here and there. Couldn't get a look. Toiled in the G League, tore it up. And now he's getting to play and getting to show his wares in the National Basketball Association. And that is love right there. The next guy on this list is, now, there's not a lot of reasons to watch Memphis basketball, but this is one of the reasons to watch Memphis basketball. Cam Spencer is a second-year guard. This dude is a connector. He's an off-ball flamethrower. He assists every 5 minutes, which is great. And he's a feisty defender that offsets his tools because he's not very fast. He doesn't jump out the building, but positionally he's strong. I love that about him. And the great thing about it is he has a lot of moxie. He's a little fiery little dude, and he is up to the challenge. So when you look at him, you go, man, that's the dude I want in pick and roll right now. I'm gonna cook this dude so crispy. But he's like, nah, I will stand in front of you. I will shadow you. I will mirror you. And, we can go ahead and you can pound the ball for 21 seconds of the shot clock, but you're not getting off this shot as easy as you think it is. So no good looks for you. He's like, the shot, never mind. We ain't going to go there because we can't be talking about that right now. Why is this important for Memphis? Well, we're going to get to a lot of Memphis talk, even though we're going to be talking about the Southeast Division, because Morant's name will come up a couple times in that process. Having guys who are on really good contracts and who can play competent basketball, they know their role on the team. They prize the basketball, and what I mean by that is that they cherish it. They don't turn it over. They share the sugar with their teammates. Go ahead and drink. I know you guys love that terminology when I say share the sugar. This is one of those guys that's just a connector, and they find their way to play like 8 years, 10 years in the league. So if you are watching a Memphis Grizzlies game and you're tired of watching Ja Morant shoot 39% from the field and 14% from the land of three. Check out our guy Cam Spencer. Now, a guy that I want to talk about real quick, playing in Utah, and another team that is also going through it this year. This was a guy I was high on when he came out. Keontae George of the Utah Jazz. Now, 22 points, 22.6 points on strong, true shooting percentage despite the three-point slump. That's because he can get into the lane. He got a lot of wiggle to his game. He's got a lot of dance ability when he has the ball on the string, when he's dribbling it. He is one of those guys that I wouldn't say Jalen Brunson, right? But I would say he has essence of Jalen Brunson. He's got really good footwork, and he definitely knows how to get his shot off. Keontae George is one of those dudes that I wonder, with the Isaiah Colliers of the world, with the Ace Baileys of the world, would he get lost in Utah? Obviously, we still got Lauri Markkanen on the team and things of that nature. So I've been wanting and waiting for Keontae George to go off. In this offense, you just wonder if he's going to get enough opportunities to do so. Right now, with the opportunities he is getting, he is flourishing, and we love that for him. Keontae George of the Utah Jazz. Now, a guy who's had nothing but injury trouble, couldn't stay healthy, Drew Smith of the Miami Heat. He's healthy at last. He has 13 steals. He has more steals than he has fouls. That's always good. He's a backup point guard. He's not getting like a ton of run or whatever, but when he gets in the game, he just makes everything so crazy. It's just a lot of chaos, a lot of disruption, a lot of deflections, and you gotta love it, because he gets in there and he's like, listen, I don't know how much time I got here on the court, so I am going to be as productive as possible while I'm here. And you gotta love that when you're talking about a young guy, especially a young guy who's had some injury issues, and he's not timid. He's not getting on the court going, I wonder when the next ACL situation is going to happen or Achilles situation is going to happen. I'm just out here. I'm grateful for the time to be on the court. So shouts out to Drew Smith of the Miami Heat, and also extending that Heat culture yet again. They always find these dudes that are just grimy and are additive to their team. Now we're going to make our next stop in Hotlanta. And the great thing about this is that we're going to be talking about Atlanta a little bit later in the pod when we go to the full court press. Muhammad Guy, he is a 6'11" pogo stick. Okay? He just terrorized Paolo Banchero when they had their matchup. He was like, nope, no scores in the paint for you. These shots are going to be sent away, or they're going to be terribly difficult for you to get them off, and you're definitely not going to shoot as efficiently as you want to. So he held up against Paolo, which, he's also shooting from corner threes at 31.6% clip. And you would go, hey, that's not that impressive. But you got to understand, this is a young, big guy learning this skill on the fly. He did not have this in his bag when he came out, when he came to the Atlanta Hawks. This is something that he is learning. And I love that he's able to, first of all, he wants to shoot it. Second of all, he knows when to shoot it and when to, okay, this guy's crashing down on me. Let me go ahead and hit a cutter or pump fake, put two dribbles down, and then see where I'm at. So very aware of who he is when it comes to that. Now, what makes him kind of special is that he's cheap and he's young. The other thing is that he's providing really good backup minutes for Jalen Johnson and the rest of the crew, the Zachary Richardsons of the world. So we love that part of it. He's a switch-friendly big, and he can change geometry on the court. He is a absolute weak side rim protector nightmare for you. This is one of those guys that would probably end up on the scouting sheet when you go along, as far as that's concerned, if you're the opposition. couple more guys, and then we're gonna get to the mess that we need to talk about. Shouts out to Jamal Shed of the Raptors. 43 assists to 8 turnovers. That's crazy. 47.4% from 3. He is lighting it up, having that backup point guard role for the Raptors. Shouts out to my guy there. And the good thing about him, again, these are guys, the narrative of these guys is that they're young and cheap. As in Tristan Da Silva of the Magic. He's shooting 41% from 3 on movement. His IQ is off the charts. Remember, he was at Colorado and also Oregon. Played well. Played in March Madness. Was kind of a leader when he was at those two schools. Comes to the NBA. Nothing phases him. Goes through his rookie year. Played well then. He's playing well now. And I'm going to tell you one thing. We're going to be talking about some guys with Orlando very, very soon here. And then you're going to go, well, if you got Tristan Da Silva, what are we doing? So stay tuned for that. Jalen Tyson, I watched a game of his the other night when they went up against the 76ers. And there's 3 things that I want to talk about with Jalen Tyson. 1, he plays very good defense. 2, he's able to be another facilitator for the Cavaliers, and at 6'6", you love it. Absolutely love it. 43.6% from 3, 13 of 29 over the last 5 games. He is doing yeoman's work off the bench. He's also kind of, if you want to call it, sharing time with Lonzo Ball. They put him in the starting lineup for a second. He's been basically the 3. He actually started against the Philadelphia 76ers. And he held his own against Kelly Oubre Jr. and the likes. And I love that. I love that you see young guys, basically in a sense, getting opportunities and then making the most of their opportunities. You go like this. Well, damn. Shit, this is a revelation we didn't have. So we love it so much. And the last guy on this list, and of course, is Jake LaRavia of the Los Angeles Lakers. Jake LaRavia was a Memphis Grizzly, and then he got traded to the Sacramento Kings. And then he was brought over to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, he's good friends with Austin Reeves. And the reason why I bring that name up is because they also share an agent. So, Jake LaRavia was the first guy during the free agent period this last summer that the Lakers contacted and then signed. Yeah, $6 million. Gotta love it. What is he doing? 12.1 points per game. 37% from 3. Gotta love that part. He attacks closeout like a banshee. And the best part about it is that he just does his job. And he is also somebody who's very adept at playing that second side situation, being able to throw the pass, not turn the ball over. If for some reason you close out on him aggressively, he can put the ball on the deck and then take it to the rack and yam on you, which is great. We love that. White dudes out here just yamming on people is great situations. It's great theater. So Jake LaRavia is doing yeoman's work in Los Angeles in the La. We wanted to show him some love. Jake, welcome to the team. Welcome to the Lakers, to the Purple and Gold, my guy. And we hope that you have an incredible season. The last bit of news that we want to talk about is De'Aaron Fox. And you go, well, De'Aaron Fox has been hurt, Vince. Well, guess what? He going to return on Saturday against the Pelicans. Fox plans to make his season debut after hamstring rehab. The Spurs are banged up right now. Dylan Harper is out with a significant calf strain. We won't be seeing him for a second. And they need a guard. Now, Stephon Castle, it was cute that he thought he was a point guard when he came out in college and went through the pre-draft process. His people were telling everybody that he was a point guard. We clearly see that that is not the ultimate position for him. And I talked about this in the summer. So go back, listen to the archive pods. We did a thing on San Antonio. Basically, what I said in that is that if Dylan Harper pops, if he is who I think he is, here's a guy that could move De'Aaron Fox over to the 2 guard, because Dylan Harper is 6'5", pretty stout, like 210. You know, he's not like, oh, I'm coming into the league, I barely weigh 180 pounds. No, this dude eats some water burgers or whatever the case may be down there. You know what time it is. But I always thought that also with that, and I said he would be the one guy I would be worried about. Will he be able to get off ball and become that second side initiator that the San Antonio Spurs need? Also understanding that his role is to support Victor Wembanyama. I think Castle is a good kid. I think he's also a great defender. I do think that the ball handling and the instincts to be a on-ball facilitator are not quite there yet, but he can make like the rudimentary pass. He can make like, okay, this guy is crashing down on me from the, at the 3-point line. Let me go ahead, pump fake it, put it on deck. I have the athleticism to do something very, very special at the rim, or I could kick it out to another shooter and we can get into a swing type of situation, and maybe if I relocate, I'll get this defender off me and shoot the ball. If we're talking about actual, hey, we want you to run the team, the results have been mixed. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of turnovers in that Laker game that were his. I think he had 6. 8 assists, but 6 turnovers. It's a D'Angelo Russell type of stat line. I love that kid, but I'm very happy that De'Aaron Fox is back, because he will be the grown-up that the Spurs need. He'll get the ball to Wemby. In the short term, he's going to stabilize the guard room. In the long term, what we're hoping for is that he is going to be that guy that stabilizes the whole offense, because what you get with De'Aaron Fox is you get a guy who, in the fourth quarter, he knows how to get his shot. He knows how to get to the rim, get fouled. He's going to be able to put up 20-plus pretty easily, especially with all the attention that goes on with Victor Wembanyama. I think that De'Aaron Fox, because when he was with the Sacramento Kings, he was the number 1 option. He will no longer have to be that anymore. So he's going to add rim pressure. That frees up Wemby. What does that look like? And if you surround him with shooting and that type of speed and that point of attack type of defense that he could utilize, especially with a absolute window wiper in Victor Wembanyama, he can probably go ahead and, gamble a little bit more, which is great. So what we're looking for is that Saturday against the Pelicans, our guy, De'Aaron Fox, will make his return. Remember, De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama played a total of 5 games last year. So it's not going to be organic. It's not going to look crispy early because of the fact they don't have that chemistry yet. But he will be a welcomed addition, no doubt with that. Baseline Buzz, cap streams with history, a dozen names graduating from who to a problem, to a real problem, and a return that brings pace but demands patience. We will keep the receipts to keep you honest. This is the Baseline Buzz, and we talk here about the news that all basketball fans want to know. So you know where we're going now, right? Y'all know where we're going. Full court press. We swing through a whole division. No skips, no mercy. Every team, every truth, one press at a time. Each episode of the Full Court Press is rapid, detailed, sweeps through a NBA division, all 5 teams, 5 mini reports, tone, high tempo, observational, and we put a little spiciness in there. You're not doing it. You're not doing PR. You're pressing full court on accountability, strategy, and what's actually moving the needle. So where do we start? you know where we go start. We gonna start in the ATL. And why are we starting there? For a good reason. The emotion relief mixed with curiosity. The Atlanta Hawks suddenly are in a, I don't even know what you want to call this. It's kind of a no man's land, and we'll get to why. But they have lost Trae Young. He has a MCL injury. He'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks. And here's what I'm going to say about this. I believe that the Atlanta front office, the coaching staff, are really intrigued to see what this is going to look like. Just saying it. They're losing an all-star. The Hawks are, no doubt. Will the ball be popping? Will the wings be flying around? And is everybody wondering if this is a glimpse in what Quinn Snyder wanted to do all along? We're probably going to see really the first real version of Quinn Snyder's offense right now. And there's no shade being thrown to Trae Young. We're going to talk about this. We're going to break this all down, but there's no shade to him. Are we seeing growth, or are we just seeing a novelty of a new script? The Hawks' pace and spacing finally match Snyder's ideals, but can this movement offense survive scouting reports and November fatigue? No doubt the Atlanta Hawks are probably in an identity crisis right now, but they do have some guys that are going to be able to help them along with this process. But let's get into where the Hawks are, where they're going to be, and there's a lot to get to. They're 4-4 currently, which is 7th in the East. They average 116.6 points per game. The opposition is averaging 117.4. Their pace is 102.2, which is 7th. We talked about Trae Young and his injury. The team's net rating is positive 3.6 without him, just so you know. Sometimes subtraction teaches you more than the standings. And now the ball is in Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson's hands, and I wonder if we are looking at the future, or are we looking at something that goes, man, I told you Trae is too valuable to this team. All will be washed out. All will be said in the wash, man. It's going to be great. We're going to figure it all out. What makes this so juicy and spicy to me, Trae Young's deal is up at the end of the season. He has a $43 million expiring contract. League's execs say, value correction. Could be a trade window here if everything goes right with this situation while he's out. A guy that I want to talk about right now is Onyeka Okongwu. And you go, well, why do you want to talk about Onyeka? We just talked about Trae. Well, this all feeds into what we're trying to do here. Remember in the offseason, the Atlanta Hawks picked up Kristaps Porzingis. I said, damn, what does this mean for my guy Onyeka Okongwu? Well, he got in the lab. And the reason why he got into the lab on a real level, he's actually, to me, he's shooting the ball from 3 very well. Right now, he's shooting 40.7% from 3. Now, Jalen Johnson ascension lever shift the front office math. And what I mean by that is that Jalen Johnson is somebody who can handle the ball. At 6'9", he has capability of seeing over the defense. He definitely has the creativity to get the ball to his teammates. He doesn't seem to be a guy who's like, I'm taking 28 to 32 shots tonight, and there's nothing that my teammates or my coaches can tell me. Nope. Jalen Johnson is like a 18 shot a game guy. I think that's what he's averaging right now. And you go, well, that's all going to change with Trae not in the lineup. Yeah, you're right. He's probably going to go up to about 21. But I do believe that Jalen Johnson is the type of guy, let's get a better shot than a good shot. If we can get a great shot instead of a good shot, then we done our job. Why is this so fascinating? Well, it opens the door for so many things. The Hawks could test the trade market without tanking. Dyson Daniels is not averaging the assists that he did last year, but he's still doing his thing. He's 5.8 rebounds. He's almost 4 assists at 3.8, and he's still averaging 2.5 steals a game. Thriving as a point of attack engine. And what makes that so important in this situation is that if you don't have Trae on the court, you take one of the biggest defensive liabilities, in a sense, off your roster for a little while. Trae was constantly picked on because he's 6 feet tall. He's not very heavy. And let's put him in pick and roll action and see what happens. So now you are getting a situation where you're getting to kill Alexander Walker, and you're also getting Dyson Daniels. So you're talking about 6'4" and 6'7", and you're talking about good defenders. Boy, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is heavily missed in Minnesota right now. Trust and believe that statement. But now what he's being asked to do here in Atlanta, this is real incredible situation for him, because he's averaging 17.3 points a game, and he's hitting 1.9 threes a night. So if he stays steady Eddie like that, gives the defensive pressure that he's been given, and also you're not even the number one point of attack dude. You're going against a number 2 guy, which is great. If they're putting that type of pressure on the ball and they end up with a lot of steals, then the offense even gets easier for the Hawks. The Hawks had 7 players in double figures in their last game. Everyone ate. No leftovers. No heliocentric hangover. That's from Soraya, and she is right. The one thing that we have talked about ad nauseum on this podcast, in production of this podcast, not this particular podcast, but over the years, I wonder how difficult it is to play with Trae Young, because that pounding the basketball for 21, 22 seconds, and then you basically throwing up a grenade shot towards the rim, or you're giving the ball to somebody with 3 seconds left to go, and they're not as accomplished as Trae. So their anxiety level goes up. The chances of them hitting that shot, not great. And they've been standing around for like 20 some odd seconds. Not great, Bob. The coaching might outlast the injury stretch. It will depend on what the record is, though. Jalen Johnson's assist percentage is 25.4. Okongwu's true shooting percentage is 62.6. Evidence that there's a system flow. This is the Quinn Snyder offense. 5 out. Ball is moving. Ball is finding energy. Everything is flowing. And, we're just trying to find rhythm. We're trying to eliminate a good shot and get a great shot. That's all we're trying to do. Move without the basketball. Please go ahead and get some motion going on and make the decisions easier for the passer. We don't want the ball to kind of stay in one area. We don't want the ball to get stagnant. These are the type of things that I know right now that's what Quinn Snyder is preaching. Because this is the same thing that he used in Utah. Utah had Mike Conley, who was a steady point guard, but Donovan Mitchell had the ball a lot when he was there. This leads to Auntie Salah, who is taking over for 2 different regimes now. But Salah is the guy who is going to see what's going to happen with this team. Is he right here for the meritocracy run experiment? Or do we go back to the Trae dictatorship? Only time will tell. And it really will depend on the record and how the execs and the scouts look at the offense once we get more sample size. Right now we don't have enough sample size to make a intelligent decision. The early reports are good, but obviously we want to see this play out a little bit more before we start saying, oh, okay, this is a real situation. But if this is, they're going to have some decisions to make. The difference between confidence and stubborn: confidence adjusts. Stubborn keeps shooting from the parking lot just to prove a point. The building has been patient. The fans have been loyal, but the tape doesn't lie. Trae has been launching 35 footers with 14 seconds on the shot clock. The game owed him clarity. Now without him, the floor moves freer. The passes got purpose, and that front office, they're sitting there quietly, but they're thinking loud, can we do this differently? You can love the player. Trae Young has provided a lot of good moments in Atlanta, but you can outgrow his patterns. That's not betrayal. That's growth. You can't lead a team that learned to breathe without you if you keep choking the air off with your shot selection. It is something that we have been talking about for years with Trae Young, and it was one thing that I thought with Quinn Snyder that would change, and I would say that it has changed a little bit, but it's not changed fully. Trae Young still throws up the obligatory 34-footer with a bunch of time on the clock, and you just don't understand why. And people say, well, he shoots the ball. That's what he does. He's a shooter. He's a gunner. Well, you can be a gunner on a team that has no aspirations of doing anything in the playoffs, but at some point, Atlanta wants to be a competitive team. And in a wide open East, you definitely want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. I don't know, Atlanta fans, you let me know. Hit us up at Frontrunner PC, or hit us up at Rhea_Funch FRPC. Let us know what you think about the non-Trae games. Let us know what you think about just the flow of the offense. What you think that this could possibly mean as far as your guy staying in Atlanta. Do you want him to stay? Do you think the team is better off without him? Let me know. I will be very interested in those comments. Now we need to move down to Miami. Now Miami right now, they sit at 4-4 with one of the fastest pace in basketball, and the weirdest calm. The offense is fireworks, 122 a night. The defense feels organized, and the question hanging over Biscayne isn't what are the Heat, it is what to do. What do they want to pay for? Denver punched them late. Charlotte's on deck, and the schedule says, hey, we'll get clarity fast. Now, they have Tyler Hero out. I want to keep that in mind when we talk about what this team looks like right now. Let's talk about some of their numbers. They are 105.3% on pace. That is first in the NBA. Their net rating is positive 4.5. They are 162.2 offensive rating. Their defensive rating is 111.7. We told you they're averaging 122.4. They make 14.3 threes a game on almost 39% accuracy as a team, which is great. Speedy is the policy now, not personality. Because really, who do they have right now? Like we said, Tyler Hero is out with a foot injury. His name has been linked to trade targets as far as that's concerned, with an extension looming. Paying for two-way reliability or paying for shot creation, that's the thing they have to answer for themselves. Now, Bam Adebayo is averaging 19.9 points a game. He's also averaging 8.1 rebounds and 2.9 assists. He is still Bam Adebayo. Defensive captaincy, stable. You're getting good production from Jaime Jaquez. 17.4 points a game on 62.5 effective field goal percentage. He's a connector. He also plays a little bit of defense. He also knows how to get into his mid-range. But the guy who's holding it down for them is Norman Powell. Boy, let me tell you. With Jaime Jaquez Jr. out here, UCLA dude. Norman Powell out here as a UCLA dude. Norman Powell is averaging 23.2 points a game. His spacing, his rim pressure, all great. That makes Wiggins not an ancillary piece, but more like in a more comfortable role for himself. Because if Bam is getting the shots and then Norman's getting the second amount of shots or whatever case may be, Wiggins can fall into that number 3 role, which he's more suited for. And he's currently averaging a comfortable 17 points a game. And his effective field goal percentage is 60.2. So he's doing what he needs to do. And I love it. I love that he knows exactly who he is right now. Now, Miami is still not as talented as the other teams. That's why they have a 500 record. This is a resilient team. They're always better than the sum of their parts. Eric Spoelstra, who we'll get to in 1 second, because there's some stuff going on with him. This dude has just been like an NBA lifer, but also he's been an NBA survivor. And what I mean by that, no, he hasn't been coaching in 13 different places or anything like that. But the new ways for the Heat to win games, the new ways that they reinvented themselves as he's been the coach for a long period of time. It's him looking at his team going, okay, we don't have the greatest shooting, or whatever the case, we're not big, or whatever it is. He figures out a way, like, we're gonna find a way to win. We're gonna find a way. And he usually does. But reality has hit home for the Miami Heat. Yesterday, Eric Spoelstra, his 5-bedroom, 6-bath home went up in flames. There's been no injuries reported. When you think about Eric Spoelstra, you think about what he's been able to do as a coach, right? He's been able to adjust on the fly when there's been an injury. He's been able to figure out lineups when, they had a plethora of injuries and what have you. And when they didn't have the talent to figure out how to win, he figured out a way to win. We'll muck this game up to do that. Well, when reality strikes you and your home is gone and your belongings are gone and maybe some of your memories and things of that nature, it's a tough go. And Front Runner Podcast Collective would like to send out our prayers and our thoughts. The head coach of the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra. Because here's the thing. We can talk about all the money he's made. We can talk about, is that organization going to take care of him? Yes, all those things are true. But when you get displaced, and I know he went through a tough situation. He went through a divorce a couple years ago or whatever. Now you don't have a place for your kids to go. All that, they not coming to the same place that they knew. And those type of situations can wear on you. JJ Redick currently is going through it right now. He lost his home in the wildfires that we had last year. Oh, actually, it was really earlier this year. But it was last season. And now he's staying in a hotel. It's a tough deal. So, money doesn't solve everything. It really doesn't. Obviously, he has more money where he can make himself and his family comfortable. But it doesn't change the fact that he went through a really tough ordeal. And our hearts go out to him and his family. And, yeah, man. Speedy real estate situation for you. And we hope that you can battle through and persevere through this adjustment period that you have to go through, because we saw it firsthand here in California. It happened. It was so quick, and just the devastation. And there are people who are still trying to pick up the pieces. Again, we send our thoughts and prayers out to Eric Spoelstra. Now, we talked about Atlanta and we talked about Miami. And why do we talk about these two teams first? Because there's a point guard that is much maligned in Memphis, Tennessee right now. And would Ja Morant be like a right landing spot? Would it be Atlanta? Would it be the Miami Heat? Now, I'm going to give you something that a lot of people will sit here and, we stir it up with the trades and whatever the case may be. But I want to say this real quick. I think Ja Morant going to Miami would be awesome. It would be awesome for him because, one, Eric Spoelstra don't put up with mess. Pat Riley is the hammer. So if you get out of line with Eric Spoelstra, you got to go deal with the Godfather, which is Pat Riley. And Pat Riley do not play any shit whatsoever. Okay? Jimmy Butler got out of pocket and Jimmy Butler got gone. So you can play with no joy or whatever the case may be. But here in Miami, you got to have 4% body fat and you got to pass these conditioning drills or you don't see the court. That's for sure. Let's turn that question around a little bit. Do I believe that Ja Morant is good for Miami? And I would actually tell you that the answer is no. I think Miami would be wonderful for Ja. But I don't know if Ja would be wonderful for Miami. And the reason why is simply because our guy, Ja Morant, still can't shoot the basketball. He could provide extraordinary highlights. There are going to be some dunks on people's heads that we sit here and go, I don't know how he did that. But as far as three-point shooting is concerned, I mean, it just has not gotten better. Now, right now, it's in the toilet. He's shooting like under 15%, which is terrible. Now, will he shoot that all year? No. But is he going to shoot 30%? 28%? 31%? Yeah, that's probably where he's going to be. And that's not good enough for Miami Heat. Especially when you got Bam Adebayo, you got Khalil Ware, you got Jaime Jaquez. You need to be able to create the gravity, and he just does not do it. So if I was Miami, I would kind of stay away from this situation, not because of the attitude issue, not because some of the disciplinary issues that he's had in Memphis or whatever the case may be, or that act that he pulled against the Lakers where he pouted on the court for a good 6 minutes in the fourth quarter when that game was still in the balance. No, those are not the things that I would say are the reasons. The reasons are he has to be able to shoot the ball better. And I just don't think that right now will be the best time for Ja Morant to head down to South Beach. Can you imagine Ja running free on South Beach? You know what kind of nightlife Miami has. We gonna let Ja out in them streets? That sounds like a bad idea for everybody involved, bro. I'm just letting you know right now. That's terrible, terrible. Atlanta also another situation. Now here's the thing. He's a better fit for Atlanta. The problem with him is in Atlanta is that he does not provide the defense that everybody else on that team provides, but they would be able to cover him up in Atlanta. I think he would be a good fit for Atlanta because of the fact that they got length, they got size. He wouldn't have to be the point of attack defender. They got shooting because he doesn't need to shoot, but what he would need to do is get purposeful paint touches and then kick it out to his shooters, and then they have a bunch of those, and again, they can hide them on defense, and that would be great. What do they have to give up to get Ja? Maybe the expiring contract of Trae Young. Here's the thing. I don't think Atlanta has to give up any first-round picks. Not what Ja has been. So, if I'm Memphis and I have to really look at myself in the mirror and say, what do I want to get out of this deal? Do I want picks? Do I want young players? Here's the deal. You might not have the big stick to make this deal work in the favor that you would want it to work for you. You might be looking at what's the best of the worst case scenarios. What's the situation we can live with? And that's the one you do. We need to get to the Wizards. And go, Vince, we're going to talk about the Wizards for real? Yeah, we are. We're going to talk about the Wizards, man. Got to do it. Tell you why. Because every team is important, damn it. They're 1-7 right now, so there's not a lot to talk about. Each loss teaches something. And Washington's tape won't shut up. They run fast. They defend almost nothing. But they still have two young players that might turn out to be pillars. Alex Sarr put up a really good game the other night where he scored 31 points. He does provide good rim protection. He is still very, very young at 20, and he's the type of guy where not necessarily saying he is the guy, but he can be one of your guys as far as productivity and what have you. Anytime you are 7'1" and you can shoot it from outside, you got a chance in this league. And the other guy that I like is Keontae George. I love Keontae George. I think as he's just a lanky guy who can, when the discipline is there, he can provide really good defense. He gets deflections and what have you. But right now, there's a lot of pain in Washington. And the problem is that this is what you had to go through. You're 1-7. Your last loss was against Boston, 107-136. You're playing Cleveland tonight. Your net rating is negative 15.5. I'm not going to even give the rest of the numbers because they're all terrible. Organizationally wise, develop, keep the pick, preserve the flexibility. The vet minutes are good for you. They help you with the structure. Getting Jordan Poole out of the DC area was great. Chris Middleton is a cool vet to have there. And here's the things that you kind of need to know. Right now, Alex Sarr is averaging 19 points a game, 8.4 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. He also has an effective field goal percentage of 58.4, and he is making 1.3 threes a game at a 45.5% clip. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's great. He's a second-year player. This is exactly the leap that you wanted to see, and this is the type of dude that you can say, okay, like I said, he doesn't have to be the dude. He just has to be one of the dudes. And then Keontae George is also averaging 16.8 points a game, 6.8 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. He's shooting 50% from 3. Just so you know. Now, Trae Johnson, your first round pick this last offseason, 11.6 points a game. He is not defending anything. This dude can defend a doghouse, okay? I wouldn't let him defend a trash can. But he's young. This is what you thought you were going to have to do. And the reason why I say it like that is because here's the thing. Washington still has not gotten a top 5 pick in the thing. Like, we can talk about Sarr, whatever case may be, but we all know that draft was whack, right? We thought role players coming out of there. This dude was the one dude that was kind of like, Sarr was the one guy that we thought like he had star potential, but nobody thought he would be able to reach it. They thought he'd be more of a bust candidate. Haha, joke's on y'all. 7'1", y'all can't teach that. But are you going to go through some growing pains this year? Yes, absolutely. Is it going to hurt? Yes, absolutely. Are you going to see development of the young guys, which you are absolutely doing? Yes, absolutely. It's way better than what's going on in Brooklyn, New York right now, where you got, Cam Thomas is now hurt. Rest in peace, my gunner friend. But then they got Michael Porter Jr. out there. He getting all the shots. He's so excited right now. But they got 5 rookies that aren't getting the development that they need to enhance their game on the offensive end. And what I mean by that is not the actual passing of the basketball. It's finding their shots and finding their places on the courts where they can be the most effective. That's not what's going on. But here in Washington, D.C., this is exactly what's going on. And you're going to end up in the lottery again. This is what you had to do. You went through years of mediocrity. Years of like 38 and 44. Years of just like ending outside where the best lottery picks are, where you have the chance for the most upside with a guy. But you got to keep doing this until you get the dude. And here's the thing. The prospects that are coming out this year, at least the top 3, they're all franchise-changing type of guys. So best of luck to the Washington Wizards. Keep on supporting Alex Sard, Keontae George, and also Trae Jones, who's averaging 11.6 points a game, but couldn't guard a couldn't get rid of a cold. But he's also 19, so what do we expect from him? To my fans in the district, this is tough, but the film shows the lane. Keep the kids on ball, demand real screens, and grade every possession or organization. Not heat checks. The young wing changes speeds. The 7-footer is out here doing his thing. Coaching is a must. Vibes need to stay high. And it's building blocks. It's not mirage. There's no quick fixes. But what you're gaining is a ton of experience that you need to go ahead and gain at this point in time. To another place that's going through it, and they've been going through it for a while, the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets right now are in a situation where, just breathe, fans. It's another year of injuries. It's another year of what's going to happen. You guys are 3-5. You're 12th in the East. You just lost a game to the Pelicans. You're playing Miami soon. Your offensive rating is 119.2, which is 5th in the league. But your defensive rating is 119.2, which is 26th in the league. Your net rating right now is 0.0, which is 17th, which is middle of the pack. You got injuries to LaMelo, who's questionable. You got Brandon Miller out with a shoulder injury. You got Colin Sexton out. So it seems all bad. But here's some of the takeaways that you need to understand. LaMelo Ball is still a guy that is box office. 23.3 points a game, 9.8 assists. Here's the problem that we have with LaMelo. His effective field goal percentage is 51.8%. LaMelo is another Trae Young type of dude where he will shoot a 35-footer for no apparent reason. But there is hope. Knippel is all of what we thought he was going to be. 14.8 points a game. And he's shooting 41% from 3 on 7.6 attempts. He's a movement shooter. This dude is a professional dude even at the age of 19. And you guys fell into Ryan Kalkbrenner. How do you like 82.9% field goal percentage? Now, albeit it is low volume, he's a vertical spacer, rim efficiency off the charts, but he's blocking shots, getting rebounds. We love it. You guys are in the same situation that the Washington Wizards are in. Even though you have better players, you have more exciting players, the problem is that LaMelo has not been the leader that you guys need right now. Unfortunately, there's a lot of talent there, but until LaMelo wants to get real serious about basketball, get real serious about actually winning, and I'm not saying that he's trying to lose. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying there are winning plays and there are losing plays. And anytime that you want to shoot a very ill-fated jump shot from like 37 feet, and LaMelo can make that shot. I'm not saying he can't, but 15, 16 seconds on the shot clock, that's not the shot that we're looking for. It might be another year. It might be another year where you're looking for like that dude. And again, we just hope that you end up in the top 3. So then you can possibly get a dude where it's like, okay. And then this pushes people down into maybe the roles that they were born to be in. Maybe LaMelo gets traded. Who knows? I don't know. Not this year. You need somebody to draw a gate, and LaMelo Ball is that dude. Buzz City, keep doing exactly what you're doing. This is a medicine season. Dosage, not despair. Knippel's jumper is crispy clean. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. This is another guy that you can sit there and get really hyped about. Kalkbrenner is a absolute find for you. You're coming off the Mark Williams years where you didn't know if this dude was going to play 25 games or 40 games, which 40 games is still bad. And you're just waiting for the next guy. And I know that sucks because you want to be better and you deserve to be better now. You've gone through a lot of these, hey, wait till next year, wait till next year, wait till next year. You are saying to yourself, can this year be the year? And unfortunately, the answer to that question right now is no. LaMelo has not gotten real serious about doing what it takes to be a leader and leading this team to gutty, gritty victories and what have you. I thought he would. I thought Charles Lee would be able to really impact him and allow him to be the star that he could be. But until he takes some of these shots out his shot diet, we can't take Charlotte seriously. That leads us to a team that is in Florida, the Orlando Magic. Now, they're struggling a little bit. Orlando used to win by strangling teams. Now they're running fast, leaking points. They're 3-5 in the middle of the pack in defense, and that isn't their brand. It's a warning light. The offense have added pace. They've added name recognition, but the identity has slipped. If the plan was Bane's gravity, opening the lane for Paolo and Franz, the tape right now says not yet. Let me give you a snapshot of what we're looking at with the Orlando Magic. They're 3-5 right now, which is not an absolute tragedy. Losing to that Boston team was a tragedy because they're not very good. Their pace is 102.6, which is 5th in the league, but their offensive net rating is negative 1.3, which is 19th in the league. They are offensive rating of 113.3, which is 24th. Their defensive rating is 114.6, which is 14th. But this is a team that their calling card was defense. And being 14th, you think, man, that's not that bad. They can get top 10. Well, in a second, I'm going to tell you exactly why that's bad. Now, remember, they got Desmond Bane in a trade. They gave up 4 first rounders for this guy. And they're about to be like severely over the cap. And I am trying to figure out what the hell has happened. Paolo Banchero, 23 points a game, 9.5 rebounds a game, 4.5 assists a game. But here's our problem with Paolo. He is currently shooting 24.2% from 3 on 4 attempts. I'm going to say this. I've absolutely defended Paolo. Over the years, when he wasn't the analytics darling, they said he wasn't efficient and all those type of things. I was like, listen, you don't know what he has to go through. You have no idea. There's not a lot of spacing. There's not a point guard. There's not a lot going on in Orlando. He has to do everything. And sometimes his second in command, Franz Wagner, shows up. Sometimes he doesn't. Now, we're going to get into Franz in a second. He's actually having a better year this year. But I have defended Paolo. I can't defend him now. Because here's the thing. Whether Bane is struggling, and we'll get to that, whether Franz is not being what you thought he was going to be, you're the leader of the team. And if you are shooting 4 threes a game and your percentage is 24.2%, we need to get you to the spots of the floor where you feel more comfortable. Does that mean later you can go back and start shooting the 3? Yeah. But right now, you can't shoot this. You cannot do this. This is terrible. And it's getting harder and harder to defend who and what you are. Now, Franz Wagner has had a bounce back year. He's averaging 22 points a game. His effective field goal percentage is still not exactly where I would want it. It's 54.8%, which is better than Paolo Banchero's right now. He's a steady 2-level scorer, 2-level, mid-range and dunking. Still not the greatest three-point shooter on the face of the planet. This is part of the problem. And Desmond Bane has struggled. And you know how I'm a Desmond Bane guy. 13.9 points a game. He's shooting 28.6% from deep. His gravity isn't hitting yet. And I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if it's just the system. He's learning the new system. He's not quite comfortable enough in that new system. But I would have never thought that Desmond Bane would shoot 28.6% from three. That was not on my bingo card at all. Do I believe that this will continue? No. He is a career 40+% shooter from three. I believe that there's an acclimation process that he's going through, and unfortunately, it's going to take time. Unless there's an injury that we don't know about, and that's why he's struggling right now. But this is not Desmond Bane. Orlando Magic fans, don't lose hope. Do not lose hope. Because Desmond Bane as a shooter is phenomenal. And when he starts lighting it up, it's going to be real hard for teams to turn that off. But what it comes down to now is that Jamal Mosley, who's the head coach of the Orlando Magic, he has built this team on a defense-first ethos. That's the standard. It must snap back. There's been communication gaps on second side help, fouls after breakdowns. The role clarity is abysmal right now. Shooter shoot, stopper stop, no roll drift. Basically, there are just gaps in communication. You gotta talk when you're out there. And again, here's the problem. Last year they had a shitty season because everybody got hurt. Do you know what their defensive rating was last year? In the bad season, they were second overall. Second overall in the NBA. We have 30 teams in this league. This team was often injured. Star players were hurt. Valuable role players were hurt. Jalen Suggs, who seems like the heart and soul of this team, was hurt. But yet and still, they were 41-41 at the end of the year with all the devastating injuries they had. And they were second in defensive net rating. Their defensive rating was second overall. So when we see them in the middle of the pack this year, it's a cause of concern. Because your defense is effort. Your defense is your energy level that you're paying attention on that side of the court. And right now, with mostly all the same pieces back, they're definitely not displaying the same energy that they did last year. The transition D bleeding after misses, the pace without making them punish, they're getting punished. They're absolutely getting destroyed. Now, shot diet is the defense's best friend. You know why? Because if they're taking the ball out of bounds after you hit a shot, they're definitely not bringing it up the court at a breakneck speed. So I would ask Paulo and I would ask Franz to go ahead and take more efficient shots. I would ask them to, and here's the thing. Paulo is 6'10", 250 pounds. He's 23 years of age. So he should have a ton of energy. And he should be able to bully his way to the basket. If you're not going to hit your threes right now, I need you to bully your way to the basket. And get this shit going on. Because you are supposed to be one of the breakout teams this year. With everybody injured, this was a perfect time for Orlando to step up. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. But it's still early. So I expect better things from the Orlando Magic going forward. And here's the thing. If you look at the players that they got, you got to take the long view. You can't overreact to the slump, to the early season slump. Now, you can augment. You can say, hey, what else do we need? Well, we probably need somebody who can shoot it. We need somebody who can stroke the three at a good level. Who do you give up to get that? I don't know. Do you have any more picks to give? I don't know. Again, I defended Paulo's efficiency for 2 years. Now, the spacing grenades, the workload, this season was a mirror closer. If their threes, if the threes are at 24.2% on 4 attempts, stop negotiating with that line whatsoever. Get downhill, get to your spots, punish matchups, get into a pick and roll situation, get a small on you, and then start going to work. Let the jumper be dessert. If the plan is for Bane's gravity to take fold, somebody is going to have to get to the paint. Somebody's either going to have to force their way in the paint, or they're going to have to find innovative ways to get to the paint. Is there a shooter out there? Is there a shooter that's on that bench that nobody knows about? Are we still waiting for Anthony Black to reach his full potential? Because at this point, something has to give. Because I don't think that the Orlando Magic fans thought that this was going to be their year, as far as like this year, like this 3-5 start. Albeit it is we got 74 more of these bad boys left. It's no time to panic. But y'all need to get it in gear, Orlando. So we talked about the Southeast Division today. We also brought up De'Aaron Fox is coming back, which is great. Again, we wanted to send our thoughts and prayers out to Eric Spoelstra and his family for their house burning down. That was terrible. We also want to, talk about Jake LaRavia being real good. We love that. As a Laker fan, I was going to get that in. You knew I was going to get that in. But with that being said, we're going to get up out of here. I want to thank Soraya for what she does. It's great. Maya, you're excellent at what you do. Thank you so much. And again, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening to Front Runner Podcast Collective. We do this twice a week. The second thing is this. Be a friend, tell a friend about the podcast. Also, remember, with the podcast, there is a blog that goes along with it. So if you go to frpc.beam, beam.ly, then you go to the little thing at the top of the thing. It has 3 lines. Click on that. Go down the blog. There's a blog that goes along with this. It's a second screen experience. I suggest that you do that post haste. It is excellent because what we did not talk about here will be in that blog for sure. There might be a stat, there might be an observation that we didn't talk about here. It'll be in that blog. So make sure you're getting the full immersion of Front Runner Podcast Collective. Make sure you're getting that because it's very important. And then the last thing is this. The best part of you is you. Surround yourself with people who give you light, insight, joy, and accountability. And if you have people like that in your life, appreciate them out loud. That is your real wealth. And if you're still finding your tribe, know this. You got one here with us at FRPC. Until next time, keep your mind sharp, your heart open, and your circle tight. This is Vince, checking out. Peace.